All right, here we go. I can hear the audio from my laptop, so that sounds good. Let's try to up the volume a little bit. There we go. There we go. I just don't want I have an AC close to my mic, so I don't want that being picked up. I think all that stuff can be picked up in the background. Let's turn off the fan. Turn off the air conditioning. Okay. Check, check, check. How am I sounding there, everybody? Coming through? Okay. Okay. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. What was that? Sorry about that. Just making sure. Oh, it's me. I don't want to do that. How's everybody doing? Everybody, 5 of you watching. Okay, I'll do it this one. No, why is it? I tell you, trying to do some things and it is breaking. I, I tell you, you're trying to do some deletion and it tries to delete everything instead of what you want it to delete. Okay, so that's that one. Scheduled for deletion. Bring that one back. Restore. Let's bring that one back. Restore. Okay. Scheduled for deletion. Restore. Mm. Jeez Louise. Okay. Restoration. Restored that one. I restored that one. And not that one. Ooh. You're like shorting out every few seconds, Jenna. Yeah, it sounded like you had like a short going for some reason. That was weird. It is, but why are you so loud in my ears? Everything is breaking for me. I apologize. All right. 1201. Okay. I'm assuming people on the stream, y'all can hear me okay? Some confirmations, some hellos, some how do you do's. Hi, okay, good. Hello, friends. Yeah. Okay. Apologies, I'm trying to pull myself back together here. I am trying to do some stuff with Google Analytics 4, and I keep accidentally deleting, important things in there. Or I should say the system keeps trying to accidentally delete it, where I'm not even on the account that it's trying to delete keeps telling me that it's trying to delete it. So I don't understand why. Okay. So let's do a hard refresh of this. Okay, all those are back. I'm just gonna create a new one and then we'll go from there. Okay. Let's get over to that. Let's get the chat up here. Okay. All right. So, as Jenna mentioned in the chat, if you guys have questions, feel free to post them in the chat over there on the side. Otherwise, good afternoon and welcome to May. Everybody, for those of you who don't know my voice, I'm Matt Goins. I'm I want to say trainer, but I do little training these days and more consultation and support. So I'm sort of the one you always hear from when it comes to WiscWeb. And I am joined by Jenna, who obviously is chatting there, and then other folks may chime in here as well. But this is our May Lunch and Learn. I sent out the topic or the agenda earlier today. So hopefully everybody had a chance to kind of just look it over a little bit. But I want to just go through a few things throughout today, demo a little bit, also give a little bit of information regarding the analytics aspect of it. I want to make sure I bring up my description stuff here. Okay. Sorry, the whole deletion of analytics accounts kind of threw me off there for a second. So trying to recollect myself. Okay. So first things first. Hi, how you guys doing? We would like to introduce, and he has joined us for this. I'd like to introduce Jose Valdez, who is, some of you may have already seen come through the email support. Jose is our new WiscWeb help desk embedded agent. He works for help desk level. He does quite a bit, I should say. But he is helping us on the WiscWeb side of things take over some of the tickets that come in, and he's learning quite a bit about WiscWeb as he's doing this. But you all should start to see his name coming through as well. And I guess, Jose, if you want to unmute and say hi and introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jose. Like Matt mentioned, I work for Help Desk Level 1 as just like a regular help desk agent, but I am now in the embedded role. So about 1/4 of my shift every week, I am working with Jenna and Matt and Phil and Scott, and so far I'm really liking it.
Yeah. Okay. He is. Have you finished, or are you almost finished with your developer course?
I graduate tomorrow.
Oh, hot dog, hot dog. So he is graduating from Madison College with a front-end developer, I guess, degree, course, curriculum, whatever. So yeah, so we are very excited to have Jose on the team, not only just for the fact that he could help us out, but also the fact that he also has that front-end developer interest, which is something that, could always be leveraged as we move forward as well. So we're excited about that. So yeah, just wanted to say, or wanted to introduce Jose and have him say hi, and then we can now move on. So let's talk a little bit about the communications that you have gotten from me over the past couple of weeks. Most notably, you all got an email from me last week talking about the Google XML Sitemap plugin. So I just want to chat about that real quick and then explain, next steps, what you all should be looking for. So previously, we had used a plugin called Google XML Sitemaps for Assistance for all of your sites. For those of you who wanted to turn it on, it was a self-service plugin. You could turn it on, and what it would do is it would consume the wp-sitemap.xml URL for your site. Similar to those of you who use Events Calendar, the Events Calendar plugin consumes the events page of your site. It automatically takes over that events page. Well, the XML sitemap plugin did that for your sitemap.xml URL, and it would ping Google, among other search engines, to essentially let it know about your sitemap and assist with search engine optimization, and then again help with search engine results from there. So we found out not this last weekend, but the weekend before, we saw that it was no longer available via WordPress plugins page, which in turn means it is no longer supported. The developer, I believe, either sold it or passed it off to another vendor. It is no longer available, although it could potentially come back. We're not going to bring anything back, but for those of you who are not hosted with WiscWeb, you may want to use it on your own. But what we did was we pulled it down because we don't want to have unsupported plugins within our service. And then we started to look at the other options that we could communicate out. And subsequently, I shouldn't say subsequently, in that vein, WordPress already natively has built in the ability to create a sitemap, which is what that wp-sitemap.xml URL is. So if I go to this is WiscWeb's sitemap. As soon as it loads. Life's moving slow for me. I suppose that would be appropriate. So regardless, there is this URL, wp-sitemap.xml. It should load. But what you can do is you can take this URL and put it into Google Search Console to essentially tell Google about your sitemap. And what this does is it essentially builds out the structure of your website so that Google can better consume it when a search is initiated. And then I sent out all of the various pieces of information regarding that. But if you take your sitemap, you can go into so obviously I have a playground site that I am just working with. You take that URL, you go into your sitemaps, and then you just enter that. I don't have it, but it'll submit it. And then you'll get this little thing that says submitted successfully. Google will periodically process it and look for changes. Essentially, that means that Google is aware of it and can use it when people are searching for your site. So we always encourage, or I should say I have always encouraged folks to set up Google Search Console for your site regardless, because what you can do is you can correlate your Google console with your Google Analytics and get some feedback and information that way as well. Wow, that's really not loading. There it is. There's the sitemap page right there. So here's all the various post types and taxonomies that exist within your site. So connecting the two means that you can get information back on what types of search terms are being used at Google when people are searching for your site, for example, and how many of those search terms turn into clicks to your site. So again, you can address that need as you see fit when you get that information from Google. And I've got a whole video on that on our WiscWeb site talking about the integrations between the three big ones, which is Google Analytics, Google Programmable Search, and Google Search Console. So all part of the Learn with Matt series. So Google Services and the UW theme right there. Although we're going to have to redo that pretty soon because I'm going to chat about Google Analytics 4 now. So the other piece of information is something that I have been getting quite a few questions about, not only on the WiscWeb side of things, but also on my work with the knowledge base side of things as well, is the imminent um, um, change that analytics is going to be undergoing. So this was what I was tinkering with yesterday, and then at GA4, let's go to property settings real quick, and let's just move this one to the trash can. Done. Okay. So now, I get out of there, go back to my admin. This one should be gone, but we'll go through that process here in a second. Okay. So, anyways, up here at the top of Google Analytics, you have a nice big old message. Not really that big, but it's enough to scare you. Universal Analytics will no longer process data starting July 1st, 2023. So, let me go back to that guy. I lost it because I clicked let's go. There's a message that is when you click on learn more, essentially what's happening is July 1st, 2023, you will no longer have data collected via your Universal Analytics account. You know that you have a Universal Analytics account if you're using a Analytics ID value that has UA in it. That is Universal Analytics. The second part of that message is more important, which is while it will no longer be collecting data into Universal Analytics, your reports and your data from Universal Analytics will still be available. However, they have updated their information to say that it will be available for only up to 6 months after this conversion takes place. So they're going to simply cut UA out after a particular time. So then the third bullet in that list is consider exporting your data so that you still have access to it after the fact. So I don't have much information on the exporting part of this. I want to learn more, and I'm going to work with Jonathan Dietering a little bit more so that we can guide you all on that better. But what I wanted to walk through today was the process of this whole, if you have a Universal Analytics account, what do you do now? Essentially, what you're going to have to do first is you're going to have to decide on when is your cutting point. At what date do you want to stop collecting analytics via Universal Analytics and start having that data go into Google Analytics 4? And this is true for if you're using just straight up Google Analytics, or if you're running this through Google Tag Manager. One or either of those, you still have to make a decision as to, September 1, we're done. We're going to Google Analytics 4, and everything moving forward is that. That data doesn't update. That data is not like coming over from Universal Analytics. It's a starting point of of Google Analytics 4 from date X moving forward. So you need to first make that decision. For the majority of my audience, for the WiscWeb audience, that's not too overwhelming of a decision point, because hopefully you're using your data, you're looking at it, but you're not making tons of reports on it. You're not creating a lot of different views that different people are looking at. we do have several sites that are likely taking advantage of that type of stuff, and we're going to need to have some further consultation with Jonathan about how to best meet that need when we get to that point. But for the majority of you, it's just simply a matter of make a choice and then enact that choice. So I want to walk through a little bit of the process of that conversion and how do you get the data stream. I'm creating a KB doc right now on that process as well, so that you'll have it in, I guess, quote unquote paper form. And then we'll do a little learn with Matt as well as we get closer to the date, just so that people feel a little more comfortable with that. And then, as always, I sent out the links to our virtual office hours. Feel free to get in touch with us to walk through that process. Likely me more than Jenna, not to discount what Jenna might know, but I deal with the analytics side of things a bit more than she does, so I might have a little more comfort in clicking around and breaking things, as shown by today when I've already broke a bunch of stuff. Okay. So I'm looking at my training site right here. It's a universal analytics account. It is collecting data. I could take this UA whatever and throw it into my appearance and customize and my Google services section right there. So let's get rid of you right now. So nothing in there now, but I could take that UA code and throw that into there. So one of the options that you'll see is the ability to create a GA4 setup assistant, or to work through the setup assistant. So what you want to do is you want to click that. See, it's already got it. Bullets. All right, so let's just create a new property, and we'll call it. Nope, I want you guys to walk through this process. So let's create an account. Let's call it testing 123. All right, so Chicago time. There's nothing really into this. I only want to create a universal analytics property. Next, large, top 3 I always choose. Click create. Don't worry about this so much. This is all part of setting up that. Okay, so here's what you would get with your tracking code. This is the value that goes into here usually. But now what I want to do is I want to click on GA4 Setup Assistant, because I need to now create that Google Analytics 4 code. So I'm going to click on GA4 Setup Assistant. I'm going to click on Get Started. So here's the step that Jonathan wanted me to point out, and I'll have a little bit more of information about some upcoming opportunities for you all. But Jonathan wanted me to make sure I pointed out this part right here. For those of you who are already using Google Tag Manager to collect other types of data, clicks, outbound links, various things like videos, and if you have other types of conversions that you're trying to track via analytics and Google Tag Manager, unless you're very comfortable with using Google Tag Manager, whoa, slow your roll here. Reach out to us so that I can get you in touch with Jonathan, and he will be able to provide better guidance as to what your next step should be. But again, vast majority of you not using this, but I want to make sure I take a step here and say, if you are using Google Tag Manager for a number of tracking functionalities within your site, stop. Let's chat. Let's make sure that we set everything back up correctly via your Google Analytics 4 functionality. You'll see why that matters in a second. But okay, so I'm going to click Create Property. It created it for me automatically. So now what I can do is I can say see your GA4 property. It's going to open up a brand new window to my new GA4 property. You'll see it right over here. It says the GA4 value there. Let me zoom in just a little bit so it can be a little more visible. All right. So the thing that you want to click on here to actually get the value that you need, the code that you need to put into your WiscWeb site, your UW theme site, is data stream. So you click on data streams. Obviously, there could be a number of streams that are being tracked through this. We're just doing web. It's the only option that we had. We click on web there. But if I click on the one that I have converted, you'll get a whole bunch of information in here. Again, I'm not super familiar with GA4 yet, so I don't know what all the best answers are here. This is loose support that we give for analytics, so I just want to make sure I say that. But the value you need is this one right here, this measurement ID, because this is now the code that you need to start tracking data in your site. So if I copy that, take that over to my site, publish it. I can now close out of here, go to home, actually go to reports. So Google Analytics 4 looks a lot different than Universal Analytics. But the way that I always test if my Google Analytics 4 is working is I'll click on real time. And then, for my own purposes, I will open up Edge or another browser that I'm not logged into and just type in the URL. Let me just move that over to here real quick. I think I also can do the same on my phone, just so I can get another piece of data. Sorry, it's still here. Can't type and talk apparently. Okay, so now I have two browsers looking at it, and you can see down here, I already have a real-time hit down there. So that's how I know that my tag is working, or my code is working, is that I am pulling data. So the significant difference with GA4 is that it brings in a lot of things that Google Tag Manager does. So for example, there are things like events that you can track. So I can, like if I were to click on a page over here, and then another page, and I'm just clicking on some things over in my other window just to try and get some data to come through on this side. So now you can see that data is updating a little bit. I clicked on the page view value, and then I can dig in a little bit more, and I can click on the page title value, and it's telling me here are the top events right now. Page location, it's giving me the URLs of everything. So the one thing, let's see what happens when I click on UW-Madison. I go here and I click on UW-Madison. So what I did was I have a link in my page that links directly to UW-Madison right here, and so I wanted to see what is the so there's a click. So if I click on that click and click on link URL, that's how I can see how often. So now obviously I've clicked on it twice in my browser, and once on my phone. That is, um, um, those are the 3 clicks that have happened. So, I mean, that this is kind of the thing that Google Analytics 4 is collecting. I don't know much about the other stuff that it can do yet, but that's the big one, the event that it tracked already. Any questions about that, Meredith? I saw that you're having. Oh, okay, it's fine now. Okay, weird. I wonder. I wonder. I don't know. Any questions on that right now? Just because it's on my book. Um, Go ahead and throw those in there. I just have a couple more pieces of information that I want to throw in. I'm going to throw these into the chat as well. Actually, oh, let's see. Is it itprof.wis.edu? Do you know if what the IT professionals URL is, Jenna?
Yeah, I'll put it in. I'll put it in the thread there.
Okay, thank you.
It's IT Pro Conf, but I'll put it in here.
Okay. I wonder if the session schedules are up yet. It does not look like the session schedules are up yet. Okay. So Jonathan wanted me to point out, Jonathan Dietering is a member of DoIT's client engagement team. He is the one who I often will bring in whenever some more complicated analytics or like tag manager questions come in, because again, I just don't know enough. He is certified in Google Analytics. I don't know if there's a certification for Google Tag Manager, but if there is, he's probably certified in that as well. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to SEO, using analytics, using Tag Manager, using a lot of that data, and using a lot of that technology to improve your website, to improve your optimization of your site. He is on. This is not going to copy and paste well. I apologize, but on. Let's see. Nope, that is not going to paste well. So why don't I think real quick? All right. So I'm just going to copy and paste some things in here. So on Friday, June 3rd, Jonathan is going to be presenting at the IT Professionals Conference from 3:45 to 4:15. He is going to be talking about the same topic. And I'll put the description in there as well so people can see that. But he is going to be talking about this very specific topic, and what to consider, and specifically he's going to touch on a few things in relation to like what to do with your data, how to make some transitions when it comes to things that you are already collecting via Google Tag Manager, that type of stuff. So I want to make sure I give him a plug for this as well. So, and then once I know that that's available for us to view after the fact, I'll make sure I link out to it and communicate that out as well.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Can everyone hear me?
I believe so.
If someone could mention in the chat if you can hear me, I just want to confirm.
You can. They can.
Okay, perfect. So we're also doing a presentation. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Adrienne. We're doing it's a pre-recorded presentation. The title I'll put in here in the chat. It is called Envisioning the Future of Campus Websites and Features. So that is a pre-recorded session that I am doing with a couple other folks here at DoIT. we are talking about some of the data that we've pulled from recent like surveying and discovery into like how many websites exist on campus. So we wanted to share that data with campus as it will be used to help form like a strategic roadmap, certainly for our service and hopefully for other services within our unit do it as well. So give that a look if like once things are posted there, and then there will be a listening session that goes along with it. I believe it's going to be scheduled for that Friday, June 3rd as well. So folks can come to that listening session with any questions they have about the data, which will help us kind of understand the direction that we should take things in the future as well. So we encourage you to participate in that as well. And to watch the video and just learn more about kind of what we're finding out about websites on campus. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I had forgotten that Jenna was also going to be presenting there as well, so I'm glad that she did point that out. Okay. No questions came through regarding Google Analytics and that conversion. Like I said, it is for the most part pretty straightforward. Like I said, the biggest decision that you need to make is where when to make that conversion, and then to just go through that process and set it up. And then we'll talk a little bit later about exporting reports and things like that from your data there. Okay. Let's see what's next on Matt's agenda. So we talked about analytics. I kind of skipped a spot there. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. So the last significant thing that I wanted to touch on, at least within this particular presentation, is the fact that I have built out a Canvas course for WiscWeb and UW theme training. The link, I'll snag the link again and put that in as well for those of you who want to enroll in it. But essentially, I tried, because obviously we're still not fully on campus, and even when there is some semblance of us returning to campus more regularly, I would say I don't really know what training is going to look like moving forward. Training used to be I would set up a monthly or a bi-weekly training, semi-weekly, every other week training, 3 hours. People would come in, they'd sit down at the computers, I'd have a training site for you, you'd tinker around in it, you'd build some things, you'd ask the questions, and then we were done from there. And obviously that hasn't happened for the last 2 years. I don't know that that will happen in the future. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take the essence of that course, along with, I guess, as much as I've learned over the past, I don't know, 5 years or so now of doing this. Well, I guess longer with open text, and try to start to build something out into the training course to have basically be an on-demand. You register for it, it's there always for you, so you can always come back to it if you want. It's not really graded, it's not anything that you have to feel any stress about. It's just an informational course for you to go through if you want any of the basics about using WiscWeb and the UW theme within WordPress. Obviously, I have the first two sections built out. A second module will come eventually. I will probably start building this out in the fall, mainly based on a number of changes that we're going to be making to, I shouldn't say a number of changes because I don't really know what the number of changes are. Some changes that we're going to be making to the UW theme, as well as to, the WiscWeb offering in general. It's just, what we make available and what will not be available to people. And also let some things sort of shake out in relation to like Google, and there is an accessibility course also being built out that's not yet live. that Sandy Arendokowski, for those of you who are familiar with her, she is building out with the help of a number of other people, so that there is an on-demand inclusive content design training as well. And she and I want to sort of cross link / cross inform our audiences between the UW theme and WiscWeb, and then the inclusive content design and the accessibility training that is going to be offered. And so we want to make sure that we make everything available for you all so that you can kind of just pop in, get some information, pop out. The link is there. You should be able to sign up for it now. If you have any questions, if something doesn't seem right, if something's broken, please reach out to me, because I want to make sure that it's what you want and it's what you need. Yeah. Thank you, Adrienne. I appreciate that. Okay. Any questions on that? And I guess the last thing kind of motored through. We went faster than I thought we would. I thought the analytics stuff would take me a little bit longer. Last thing is, I sent it out in the email. I'll repaste it into the chat right here. Our boy, couldn't this be a little more smarter? Apologies for that copy paste that I just did there, but those are mine and Jenna's office hour doodle links. So if you want to set up any time with us on a Friday, on an upcoming Friday, you can do that way. But that was about it for this month. I guess it's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. Jenna, anything you want to throw in?
I do. I have a couple things.
Oh, go ahead.
So the first thing is, we've received maybe like 1 or 2 questions about PHP compatibility with the UW theme. It has not been tested yet. So if you are using the UW theme outside of WiscWeb or within WiscWeb, we have not been tested with PHP 8 yet. That is something that we're just starting to work on. So it will be a while before the theme is compatible. The second thing is, a couple folks have asked about this policy library integration. So we don't have a formal like page element for this, but we do have a way that you can pull in policy library docs that are sort of categorized for your group. Matt is going to bring up, it's like midway down that list. Yep. The KB doc on this, and I'll post it in the chat here. Actually, Matt, I think when
I've
you
already got
post it,
it.
it actually makes it like, thank you. But we have a KB doc that captures this. Thank you to Jose, who's on the line here, for helping us create this KB doc. So it kind of walks you through how you can pull in your policy library links via some JSON code and WP data tables. It is a little bit more technical than our traditional KB doc. We did try to make that as straightforward as possible for you all. If you have any trouble, I think our office hours are a great time to connect with us if you need any help or assistance there. But it kind of just displays it in a table format on your page that is filterable by keyword. So nice little option there. And then the last thing that I can think of right now, which I'm probably missing something, is another KB doc that Jose has been working on, which is performing a security scan of your site. So this is not something where it allows you to scan yourself. It's more guidance on if your division or department is looking to gather more information on the security of your site. So Matt, if you go back to the main KB hub, and then it's the most recent document there. Yep. So that one, it does require campus login just because it talks about security, and we don't want to make that like publicly available. But essentially, if your group is looking to do scanning, we just really request that you get in touch with us. So anytime any kind of scans are run against the WiscWeb service, it increases traffic from a single IP, which to our security tools like WordFence and Mod Security looks like an outside attack. So we just want to kind of make you aware, like, if you're looking to do that, that's totally cool. Just connect with us so that we know the date and time, and then send us some of that information that's in there, like the source IP, name of the scanner, things like that, so that we can be aware and can kind of accommodate that traffic. Otherwise, you'll probably get cut off in the scan, and it could create some, just like potential performance issues. So just collaborate with us when you're going to do that. That's sort of technical. So if you have any questions, again, reach out to us. We have a link to our customer support form there. We can also connect with your IT team within your divisions if you want to like kind of set something up. And if you have any questions about this general topic, feel free to put it in the chat here.
All right. I just realized that I launched my Canvas training without actually putting in the survey that I wanted to put into there.
Matt, I just thought of
well.
another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought of one more thing. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No, you're fine.
I think you were going to do this anyway, but just another plug for our feature request form, or feature request process. If you could bring that up, Matt, in the KB. So something that we are getting requests for, and I would love to gather more information on, is videos in the hero area of a site. So a couple folks have seen this as a feature in other sites on campus, and have requested it. We're really trying to capture needs and usage for campus so that we can assess against other requests that we're getting. So like, we're a small team, and as a small team, we really need to make sure that we're working on the things that are highest priority for our university. And we base a lot of that off of this feature request board. So this document that Matt is showing shows you how to submit a feature request, and links out to our GitLab board. Matt, if you could click on that that link that says
board.
GitLab
Yep.
feature request.
Yep.
And then we already do have a ticket for this hero in the header. So if you just type in hero into the search, Matt.
Right there.
Yep, add an ability to add video. You click into that if you can.
Yep.
So what we would really like to see is if this is super important to your group, then go ahead and upvote it. So there's a little like up down vote feature on here. And then also if you could add a comment, just kind of like what you're looking to do and a link to your site so that we know your group is interested. I will preface this by saying there are a lot of barriers here. So there are accessibility barriers, there are technical barriers, there are usability error barriers, and there are like just barriers with getting the right quality video content for something like this. So it's going to be a big discussion, but we're just trying to capture as much data as we can moving forward to understand kind of like how people would be using it, and making sure we're educating on like how something like this or what this could look like. So if this is of interest, we do encourage you to just upvote that. You don't have to create a new issue. It's actually better to just upvote and add a comment to the existing issue, because that allows us to see it all in one place. And then just like a reminder that we do go through these quarterly. You will start seeing us adding more features to the service based on this feedback that you all are putting in here. So we are very grateful for anyone who's going in and upvoting and adding comments. It is so helpful to us to see that interaction. I know it's a little bit annoying because you do have to like log into a new tool, and I apologize for that, but it has been very, very helpful for us. So thank you to all who are doing it. And yeah, we can answer any questions you have in the chat too, if there are any questions about the feature request board.
I should say, in light of what Jenna was just saying, I received one of the emails I got today after I sent out the agenda, and somebody added a topic to my lunch and learn form, was what is going to happen with WiscWeb UW theme and the UW theme in general once wisc.edu updates in the near future, the look and feel of wisc.edu proper. We don't know. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what new features may exist. I should say that while the UW theme is influenced by the way that wisc.edu looked and will likely be influenced by the way that wisc.edu will look in the coming future. It's not a WordPress site that wisc.edu was built on, so it's a little bit different as to what we can and can't do and what we will and won't do in relation to what the marketing developers do for that particular domain. So will things change in the future? Yes. How will they change? We don't know yet. Because, well, one, we haven't seen what the new wisc.edu redesign is going to be. When is it going to be released? We don't have any of that information. So, there's not much else to say on that yet. Once we know more, we'll start adjusting and, we'll make decisions when that comes. But so that being said, we do have some exciting things that are going to be coming to WiscWeb and the UWC over the summer. Hopefully, if all of our testing continues to be positive and we don't break anything as we continue to test. But we do have a number of things that people have been asking for and have been looking forward to for a while now. We have dove in and figured out some things. We have unbroken some things, and we're excited for when those things are going to be released. So we do have a theme update. I guess it would be considered a significant theme update coming this summer. I don't know if is it June that we're going to try to push that out, Jenna?
Yeah, so we're looking at a smaller release of the UW theme at the end of May. We're tentatively scheduled for May 26th on that. That's going to be a lot of like little bug fixes, a couple accessibility updates, things like that. So very minor. And then in terms of like impact directly on like features, things like that. And then we were tentatively looking at, I think, the 16th of June, around there, 16th or 19th. And then I think we're going to end up pushing that back, so it might be towards the end of June, but that would be a bigger release. That's going to relate more to page elements. You should see some fun new changes with that. We don't want to release too much info on that now. We're still doing a lot of testing, so but I think
we're excited about it.
A cool update for you all.
Yeah, we're excited about it because it is stuff that we've been looking forward to. So, okay. I think that is about it. I know I'm going to end this and think of 2 or 3 other things that I wanted to say. I am going to add a feedback as I was saying. I need to add a feedback form to my Canvas course. I apologize about that. I do want your feedback on it for those of you who are going to go through it, even if you only go through 1 or 2 of the pages or just a few things. I still want to hear from you, and that information means a lot to me because I need to know how to best help you onboard people who are going to be taking care of your websites. So I will be putting a little survey form in here as well. I'm building it out in Qualtrics. I should say too, I want to make sure that I say thank you to Jenna and Ketter Joiner. Obviously, Jenna, you've been hearing from. Many of you probably know who Ketter Joiner is. She was a member of the WiscWeb team back in the day. She came back. She's now a member of our client engagement team, and she does quite a bit of like user engagement guidance for us, and she helps us out with our surveys and asking the right questions and taking that information. So the 2 of them, along with a member of our, I don't really know what team Elizabeth lives out of. But Elizabeth Trenta, she does quite a bit of work with a lot of our teams as well, helping us with knowledge-based stuff and again, like user interaction type stuff. Those three gave me a lot of feedback on this and helped me build it out and helped me refine it quite a bit. So I wanted to make sure I said publicly to them, thank you. I've said thank you to them, but you all should know that they put in a lot of effort as well to help me. So, okay. That's where we'll end it for this month. Again, we'll have another one of these in June, I hope. If everything goes to plan, we'll see. But look forward to that. If not June, then definitely July, because we will hopefully have that UW theme release out, and we'll want to make sure we cover it and answer any questions that you all might have. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Set up some time with us via our office hours doodle links. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Stay cool, although hopefully cool temperatures are coming. But we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye.
Thank you all.